Ya da, ya da da, ya da da da. Ya da da, ya da, ya da da, ya da da, ya da da, ya da. Say it together. Da, ya da, ya da, ya. Okay, relax for a second. Keep this palm down. Yeah, there you go. And make sure there was a point.
First of all, I have to say that you all have such beautiful bodies. I looked and I was like, I want to lock myself in Bally's with a personal trainer. And then I thought they can't get much better, but you kept stripping off stuff, and I was like, no, their bodies are getting better and better. I want to start because coming from a non-dancer but someone who works in theater, I was fascinated by the way you guys were talking while you were rehearsing, because there was so much about it that as someone who's not very familiar with dance, I assumed in a dance rehearsal people were like, no, point your toes like this, put your head like this, put your hands like this. But you were talking in such emotional and theatrical words. I was just curious to know, is that how you always work, from a more theatrical, character, story-based?
The company is called Deeply Rooted Dance Theater.
Yeah.
So that's very organic to what it is that we're working to express, is that we are about entertaining. That's very important too, because you'll see in our rep work that is just really about dance and beauty and fun and happiness. This dance is really story. It's about a story, a very specific story about these people's lives. And so inside of that, we have to approach the movement from a theater perspective. It's not just about movement for movement's sake. It's about expressing an idea.
Is it difficult as the dancers then to make that marriage between the technical precision and then the more emotional base? Because that must be so much to remember, to be like, are my arms relaxed and am I a junkie and are my arms relaxed? Like doing it all at once. It must be such pressure. How do you do it?
At least at this point, it's quite easy. We are trained three-dimensionally.
Really?
And what that means to me is that, you know, I've been in atmospheres in which you just train one-dimensionally, and it is just about the physicality of the work. But how we're trained to not only to have the physical work involved, but to have the emotional work and the mental work involved. And because it's a day-to-day process, when you get to this point in the company, it's quite effortless because you've already been trained that way. So it is possible to say, okay, my arms are here, and I'm also a drag queen junkie. But I need to make sure that on 7/8, my arms are not here and here.
Yeah.
That's how we're trained.
That's amazing.
Very three-dimensionally.
Please let that be the title of the autobiography. My arms are here and I'm a drag queen.
Another important thing is for us to bring a personal perspective, our own experiences, because we can't fake it.
Yeah.
The audience gets that. When you're faking, they know it. And so we have to constantly draw on our own experiences.
I believe that Deeply Rooted deals with a lot of issues that are real, and it's easier for me to be a part of the process because I know I'm telling some experiences of things I see every day, you know, right outside these doors. There's some things about this piece, this particular piece that's going on, and maybe somebody closed their minds to it, but we don't.
When you walk around, Derek, you can, I think that's a moment where you can relate to her there, to Elena there, okay? If you want somebody to become an informed artist on stage, they are going to have to grow in their life.
Yes.
You know?
Can't just live in a dressing room.
Yeah.
Yes, I totally
in a
agree
dance
with you.
studio. You really can't, because you'll bring nothing. You just would not bring anything. What have you seen but a bar and some mirrors in yourself? You know what I'm saying? That's all you see. You got to live in the world. If you're going to talk about the world, you got to live in the world.
Because you have to have something to say.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
I
right.
totally, you guys,
Right.
could I be your
Right.
mascot member?
The piece was commissioned by Dance Africa and the National Performance Network and the King Arts Complex. They asked us if we would create a work along with Stacey Ann Chin that spoke to HIV and AIDS, the condition of living with HIV and AIDS, or any condition that is life-threatening.
Yeah.
And essentially, so when we sat down and we thought about what we wanted to do, we said that we wanted it to be real. We wanted it to address the issues targetedly. It would be very, very potent in terms of addressing the issues, but we also wanted to deal with it as hope, to address the hope and the fact that people are living, you know, with HIV and AIDS.
So I have to ask, since you seem like such a tight-knit, family-oriented dance company that knows so much about each other, and you are the co-artistic directors, is that correct?
Yes, yes.
Are they like the mom? Which one's the mom? Which one's the dad? Who's
Oh,
the
God. If you point over here.
Okay.
Dad.
So is there like the nurturer and the disciplinarian, or like if you needed to borrow the car, which one do you go to? Okay. That's hilarious. And then how do you guys feel that it's important as the mother and father to present?
I'm really not digging this. This mother and father thing is just really tripping me out.
funny.
7. Hey, what? There you go. Yeah. Da, yeah. There it is. Da, yeah. Da, yeah. Beautiful.
I often thought of dance as this something that's separate from me, something that I would come to look at, and I wasn't sure I would understand it, and it would be even the physical dancing terms would be terms I'm not familiar with, and then I'd be watching stuff that I can't do. But the fact that you guys are so rooted, pardon the pun, in humanity and in the expression of like being human and that experience, it's so inclusive, even to people like myself who can't do the jetés, but
Right.
can understand the story behind it. That's so exciting for someone like me who hasn't seen a lot of dance.
And hence, that's the goal. I mean, that's so fulfilling to hear, because I think that what our goals are is to do exactly what you said, is to reach people, is to communicate, you know, and if people can leave our performances feeling a little bit changed, a little bit more optimistic about their lives, that would be our goal. We're a little bit more informed in the process of performing so that we leave the theater engaged in conversations with our audiences that matter. That's what our goals are.